Here are my 2 points. 1,
if you're buying,
and number 2,
if you're selling, if you're not quite sure where to start.
Thank you for doing a good job as always, and your analysis is spot on.
Talk to Dan Gemis and his team. Find them at dangemis.com. And now, filling in for Dan Gemis, your host, Joyce Blackmere.
Welcome back to the show. I'm Joyce Blackmere, Director of Sales and Broker with the Dan Gemis Real Estate Team, and I hope you can hear me now, and I hope my mic's not too hot either, so that you can hear what it is that I'm saying now. So thanks for texting in. We appreciate everybody letting us know that the mic wasn't working. If you want to text me now and let me know if it is, that would be awesome. So we're spending a little bit of time today coaching Lisa Ciparoni on who Patrick Swayze is
who's
and
that? I don't
the
think
impact
that,
that he had on our lives growing up.
We let her stay.
We let her stay, yes. It's unfortunate that my mic was so quiet in the first segment because really it was important. She's missing a huge part of our culture growing up.
Blame my mother.
So we're going to spend some time reminding her and teaching her.
Oh boy. Buckle up.
Yes, buckle up. So listen, I want to talk about some tips about when you're hiring a moving company. Yes. And I'll say, Aaron and I moved here from up north 9 years ago, and so it was about a 4.5 hour trek, and it was the best thing we ever did was to hire a moving company. Now we did our own packing, but they came and they moved all of our stuff into the truck. They brought it down here, super hassle-free, and they unloaded it from the truck. They wouldn't even let us touch a box. They were just like, where would you like this to go?
Which
so
is
they were
very nice, actually,
it
when
really
you think
was.
about it.
Yeah, and they set up our bed frames and all that kind of stuff. But I got to the point where
wonderful.
It was awesome, but I did get to the point where I was just like, I don't know where I want this stuff to go yet. Just leave it in the garage. Like literally, I'll finish it myself. Right. But it was amazing, and it was money so well invested because it really did take a huge. I mean, it's not like you can get a bunch of buddies together with their pickup trucks and drive long distance to.
Yeah, it's a little bit more difficult when you're coming from further away.
Yes. So when you're looking for a moving company, you'll want to consider various factors such as the distance of your move, the size of your belongings, your budget, and the specific services you need. So maybe you need packing. There are companies that do packing and organizing.
That would be
for
nice.
you, garbage removal. And then think about things like oversized items. Are you moving a hot tub or a piano or a pool table? Those kind of things are important to take into consideration as well if you don't want to leave them behind. So here are some steps to help you find the right moving company. Number one, you want to do your research. Start by doing some research online. Look for moving companies in your area or the area that you're moving to. You can use search engines, obviously. Mm-hmm. You're probably just going to Google it to find specialized moving companies or directories to recommend who you might want to reach out to. Read reviews. 100%.
Definitely.
Yes. Check online reviews and ratings for the moving companies you're interested in. Google reviews. Check with the Better Business Bureau if you want to. They can provide a lot of valuable insights into the reputation of the companies that you're looking into. Ask for recommendations, of course. I mean, we always ask our friends and families. Reach out to friends, family, neighbors, or coworkers who have recently moved. They can provide personal recommendations based on their experiences. Check for licensing and insurance. This is a huge one. Yeah. And we were very, very fortunate. All of our stuff arrived intact. Nothing was broken. But I've heard stories before where people have heirlooms broken and things like that. Like things that are tough to, you can't really replace an heirloom first of all, but like if you have like big furniture, expensive furniture that's broken, it's important. So ensure that the moving company you're considering is properly licensed and insured. This is crucial for your peace of mind and protection in case of any accidents. And you're probably going to want to get multiple quotes as well. Contact several moving companies and request detailed quotes. Make sure to inquire about additional fees, like the aforementioned packing or organizing, if there's specialty item handling charges as well, because typically it's going to cost a little more if you're moving something like a hot tub or a piano or pool table.
Absolutely.
Make sure you check out their websites. Anybody that you're interested in, this can give you more information about their services, pricing, contact details, and don't hesitate to ask all the questions. Find out about their experience, find out what equipment they use, what safety measures that they take, and the steps they take to ensure that you're getting a smooth move as well. And compare them. Compare the services offered by different moving companies. Some may provide packing services, storage options, or specialized moving services for fragile or valuable items. Check for complaints as well. I mean, I would start with the, 1 or 2 star reviews and work my way from there. Probably research any complaints or disputes that may have been filed against the moving company. You could probably Google them to find this out as well. You can usually find this information through the Better Business Bureau or Google. Get a written contract. Once you've chosen a moving company, make sure you get a written contract that outlines all the terms and conditions of the move, including the pickup and delivery dates, payment details, and any other relevant information that's important to you. And plan ahead. Schedule your move well in advance. This is really important, especially when you're making these long distance trips. If you don't have the advantage of being at the house ahead of time, or you need everything to arrive at once, or whatever the scenario is, it's really good to make sure that you have this done in advance, especially if you're moving during a busy season as well, like spring markets. This can ensure that the moving company has availability on your desired dates. It's really important to do due diligence when you're bringing in third-party companies. You want to make sure they're reputable and reliable, and that they can suit your needs and budget. It's a large investment for sure, but to me, it was so worth it. I don't know if I would ever.
Peace of mind.
Yes,
right?
I don't know if I would ever do a move like the way we used to when we were kids, like our 5 friends in their pickup trucks. Here, see how much you can fit in. We'll take 4
Especially
trips.
when you have like lots of pieces of large furniture, and it's so
a
much to
hassle.
move. Also, a tip, just something that I found helpful when I was moving, whether you're having a moving company or friends move you, make sure every box is labeled with what room you want it in. It's going to just save you so much time. You don't have to be directing people. They can just look at it and say, oh, kitchen, living room, bedroom, bathroom, and they know exactly where it's going, laundry room, whatever it is. It makes such a huge difference. And
especially for
it's
the
just where it needs
organizers.
to be.
Yeah, especially for like Lisa. I'm pointing at you because you're super organized. and
Hey, what
diligent.
about me?
Listen, I'm not picking favorites. I just want to. I want Lisa to have a little bit of.
No, but she's right. That makes a huge difference, is knowing which room it's going in. What I was going to say is a little bit off topic, but not really. I find that sometimes when there's same day closings, if you're moving into a house and you have a mover helping you, or even just one of those storage boxes or whatever, and it's being dropped off on the day that you are closing, double check with the person who you're buying the house from to make sure that there's no overlap, because sometimes those boxes get in the way, or you won't have access to the home until much later, and it can mess up your plans. So
right. If it
always
closes
double
at
check.
like 5 o'clock, for example, or sometimes after, it just depends on the circumstance.
Sometimes people aren't prepared for that it closes later, and then their whole day's kind of screwed up. So it can help having that extra bit of communication to make sure it's all lined up nice.
Yeah,
Good
for
tip.
sure.
Usually catches people
when we
off guard.
moved in, I think our furniture came 2 days later. So it gave us an opportunity to go in, do a really good clean, and sort of just a preparation to figure out where we wanted to put things for the most part. And
the house is always going to, you always remember it bigger. People always have a tendency to make the rooms feel so much bigger in their heads, and then they get there and like, oh, I don't know if that will fit there.
Right. Yes, that's a good point. Yeah. Yes, you never know.
You never know.
Be pre-planned. So we're just going to, I just want to touch real quick before we go on break on a listener question that we had, because we had a client that's looking at putting an offer in on a property with a pool, and the pool's closed for the season.
Sure.
So how do they protect themselves to ensure that the pool is operational in the springtime when they open it? And the long and short of it is that, you can put any condition in an offer that you want, or any clause, but both parties need to agree to it. So, the hard part is this time of year when pools are already closed, you can only make the assumption that the pool was closed correctly, and that everything was operational at the time. And of course, there are clauses that you can put into your offer that speak to that. But in the winter time, things can happen seasonally, right? It could be extra cold, and maybe it cracks a pipe or something. I don't know. I'm speaking a little bit ignorantly here, but I mean, there things can happen over the course of
Absolutely.
the winter. A pool liner
That are out of your control.
The ice could, rip a pool liner. Things like that are out of your control.
Strong wind, anything can happen.
So the long and short of it is that the preparation for the buyer in advance, just be prepared for that, because in the springtime when you go to open your pool, and if something has happened over the course of the winter that's at no fault of the seller, it now becomes sort of a buyer's responsibility as a pool or as a homeowner with a pool to take care of those things when they open it up. Again, there are other conditions you can put in offers that will sort of help, but I really, it's just something to take into consideration. I just wanted to speak to that a little bit, because we're sort of at that time. People's pools are closed and people are still buying and selling homes,
Absolutely.
right? So
for sure.
So I just had one recently, and something that I thought was really beneficial was, and you're not always able to do this and ensure this, but the buyers asked specifically that the pool was closed by a professional company, and then they wanted the receipt to see that. So that kind of helps give them peace of mind that it was closed properly, in a professional manner.
Sure.
So,
And then they have someone they can follow up with if something is wrong later.
Yeah, exactly. That knows the pool, right, and understands it. So you can't guarantee what's going to happen over the winter time. You just don't know with, the weather and all of that kind of stuff when you're dealing with mechanical things. But if you know that it was done professionally and done right, then it helps to give you that peace of mind.
Sure.
So that's something, if it hasn't already been closed, that you can, ask that it be done that way.
Yeah. And I think too, a lot of these, this concern in particular is in relation to somebody who's never had a pool before.
Yep.
Pool owners typically are able to tell whether a pool has been taken care of properly or closed properly or whatnot, just by sort of looking. If you've been a pool owner, you sort of just know what you're looking at. But as a new homeowner, or somebody new to swimming pools, I could understand why they would have questions.
It's a bit
and concerns.
intimidating.
It's an extra expense that they're taking on with a home purchase as well. So, but it is also a new amenity that you're responsible for as a homeowner as well on an annual basis to take care of. So I just wanted to speak to that just a tiny bit, but we need to go on a quick break. When we come back, we're going to tackle our fun question. We've got a few answers coming in. Do you believe in UFOs, aliens, extraterrestrial life? We would like to know. We'd like to hear from you. You can text your answers to 10800. We will have a look at those in just a few moments. We're also giving away a $50 gift card to the Richmond Popcorn Company a little bit later in the show, and the keyword today is butter. So text your full name and the keyword butter to 10800 for your chance to win. Lots more to come here on the Dan Gemis Real Estate Show.